I know what'll happen if I ever have to get the Tim Tebow tattoo. And then when we finally break up, I'm going to do what Mel B did. You hear about this? It's gross. It's disgusting. It is really weird what she did. But she was like...
Mel B is a Spice Girl.
Yeah, and she was in some...
she's on America's Got Talent.
She was married to some guy, and it was like he was abusive or something like that. And she got a tattoo while she was in a relationship with him. This is what she did with the tattoo.
What I went through was so horrific, and this one particular tattoo that my ex had forced me to have, and I just thought, I can't go through the pain of getting it lasered off, because laser is actually more painful than getting the tattoo off. So I said, can you just cut it off my body? I was like, I wanted him removed. So he just did a cut of just his name, and I've saved it in a jar, which sounds a bit strange. I know.
Where do you keep it?
Oh, at the top of my wardrobe. Nobody can see it, but I know it's there.
What, like formaldehyde?
So it makes me feel so much better.
She keeps the chunk of skin in a jar in her bedroom. Like, okay, let's say you move on, fast forward 5 years. And you're in a new relationship, and there's a guy that's, he's reaching up in the wardrobe, as she likes to call it, and he's fishing around for something that he thought he put up there, and then all of a sudden this jar with a piece of skin falls down out of it, and
some guy's name on it.
Are you like,
why are you keeping that?
Yes!
Like, you could just have it re-tattooed if something was to happen and you got back together.
Or change the tattoo. Change the tattoo to something else. I've never seen the tattoo. I don't know what it looks like. But can't you get it, like, modified to represent something else?
Many layers of skin. But what does that look like now where she had this chunk of skin
scar, yeah,
missing?
Like I fell off of a boat once at a company party, and I was drunk. And I fell in between the dock and the
boat?
The boat, yeah, when you're disembarking. I was turned around talking to somebody as I was walking out off of it, and I didn't look for my step because I thought they had a bridge out from the boat to the thing. And they didn't. They didn't. And
that's got to be great just to see anybody go in like that.
Oh gosh, it was. I wish I was a little bit more sober, because it would have been funny. Yeah, like a big chunk of so my leg hit the side of the dock when I fell into the water.
Yeah, that hurts.
And I have this scar here because it took a big chunk of skin off, and that skin will probably never go back. So I have this scar here. But I mean, that's a sizable scar, and I got to think that that her ex's name is probably a little bit bigger than that. That never goes away.
Well, they can skin graft it, can't they? They go up and they take a piece of skin from like your hip or something. But now you have two scars. You have a scar there where they fixed it, and you have a small scar there, and then you have a scar in your hip.
I mean, just the things that people have to go through in order to. This is why I'm anti-tattoo, 100%. 100% anti-tattoo.
So when you get the Tim Tebow tattoo,
which will never happen,
you said when we break up, there's a clause in there. You got to live that the rest of your life.
I know. Unless I go all Mel B.
I think I would rather just keep the tattoo and tell the story to people when they ask me than go through a procedure to get a flap of skin taken off.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's gross.
And like the laser thing, she said it's painful. Well, I mean, I can't think that getting a big chunk of your skin is any less painful. Getting a big chunk of your skin cut off. I don't know where it was.
What do most people do? They just change the tattoo, right? They just, some tattoo artists are great. I've seen, my cousin had something on her leg and she wanted to change it to something else. And, that tattoo artist, you can't even tell, but I guess if you don't want anything there at all, then go to the tattoo removal. Remember the guy that we gave away a tattoo removal a couple years ago to a guy that spent a number of years in prison, and he had tears coming. Like, he did his own ink tattoos all over his face.
DIY tattoos.
And they got rid of all of them on his neck, his face, his hands. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. And you couldn't even tell that he even had tattoos. And it doesn't feel great, but it's gotta be cheaper and easier than going through a procedure to get your skin removed. She's weird anyways. I've always thought she's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Very attractive, but just weird. Weird and attractive.
Didn't she have like a baby with Eddie Murphy? It's just like the life. I hope that someday somebody makes a movie about Mel B's life, because I think we just get the surface of what this woman's life was all about, because Man, it seems like
How
I've been through a lot.
pathetic can some people be?
Lots of people get divorced. Tons, especially these days. So many people get divorced these days. Now it's the people that stay married that really seem strange. 25 years, oh my God, what happened? Don't you know you can get out of it? Embarrassing though, my wife and I, we only lasted 3 years. We were supposed to be together until one of us died. I never even had a fever.
It's a good run.
She felt I was too down, I was too negative. Well, this divorce should help. She said I had changed. You ever hear that from your partner? You've changed. You didn't used to be like this. If I'd known you're going to be like this, Nick, I never would have gone to bed with you. Well, guess why I didn't tell you? I was trying to move some product.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
So Ronnie Spector was a singer. Phil Spector was a record executive. Makes for a good marriage. Just ask Mariah and Tommy.
Jeez. Any celebrity is just a mess, aren't they?
They are. This is bizarre. Okay. So in a interview she did with People magazine, she's opening up about her marriage to the convicted felon, the murderer. And
how much do you think is embellished, just real quick? Just because
I know it's
she's
one
got
side of the
nothing
story.
going now.
It's one side of the
I
story.
mean, she's got nothing going
Right.
now.
It's one
Now,
side of
the
the
only
story.
thing she has going is the fact that she married this guy who's in prison for killing someone.
She was married to him for 6 years. Started in 68, ran till 74. In 1971, she comes home. It's around Christmas time. She's in the car with Phil. And they pull up to the mansion because he was making lots of money.
Sure.
There's a fountain, and there's these two twins running around the fountain.
Like, how old are these twins?
She
Like
says
kids or like...
She says that she pulls up and she goes, there's these blonde hair, blue eyed twins running around. And I look at him, I go, what's going on here? And he goes, Merry Christmas. We adopted twins.
Oh, okay. They weren't like 20-something-year-old twins.
No, they're kids.
They were little kids.
They're kids running around the fountain.
Gosh. I just didn't know which way this was going to go.
She said, he never had a conversation with me like, hey, what do you think we should do? Should we adopt some twins? Nothing. Everything had to be a surprise with him. All the way down to our children. No woman wants live children as a surprise, she tells People magazine. She soon got out of that marriage, obviously. And luckily for her, he got the custody of the kids in the divorce because he brought them into the... Like, could you imagine what that divorce proceeding was like?
You're taking the kids, by the way. They're yours.
Okay, how do we decide custody? Well, he never asked me if we wanted them in the first place.
That's just hashtag something that would never happen today.
Like, we talked to Steve, and we're going to talk to him a little bit later on, all the time about, and maybe this is a good time to bring it up today.
You talking about Stephen Woods?
Yeah. It's not good to give somebody a dog as a pet or a cat, as a gift for Christmas time.
Usually doesn't go well.
Same goes for twins, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like bad enough if you got one that you're not expecting. But
what about their mother-in-law? They come home like, hey, mom's living with us now. That never seems to go well either. Can you imagine? Holy cow.
The
like,
kids?
no, I don't think so.
Gary and Lewis, they're now 52 years of age. I would love to find out the follow-up.
They're boys.
The follow-up, yeah.
I don't know why I thought they were girls.
The follow-up on this story would be great on Gary and Lewis. What was it like coming home when your mom came home and she had no idea you're going to be there?
Well, they were so rich, they probably had nannies and all this other stuff. It didn't even really matter.
They're busy running around the fountain of care.
Hey, those two kids hit the jackpot, that's for sure.
Phil, Man, you are a weird cat. I'm glad you're locked up. Congratulations, you're Jeff and Jeremy's.
Dumbass of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
So I was on the phone with my stepdad last night. They live over in Arizona and Havasu. They get Las Vegas and they get the Phoenix news. They tend to go Phoenix. They want to be Arizona people, not Nevada people. So he loves to talk about, what's going on in the news over there because he's retired, number one, and it's his connection, even though they're about 2.5, 3 hours from Phoenix. But he's like, be careful putting your decorations up this year. And I go, well, I don't put up decorations. Like, I bought a Christmas tree 5 years ago that already had the lights on it, and my wife decorates it. He says, well, did you hear about this guy in, what's the town? It doesn't matter. It's a suburb of Phoenix. And Gilbert. He goes, there's a guy in Gilbert. His wife came outside with their kids to see what, was going on with the lights. He was hanging all the lights on the house and doing all the outdoor lights. And there he was, hanging. He hung himself. Can you imagine? Your wife and kids come outside to see how daddy's doing with hanging the Christmas lights on the house. And there he is. He's hung himself on the lights. He actually hung himself on the light strand that he was hanging his lights with.
On accident, right?
Oh, of course. I know. Yeah. It wasn't suicide. It was an accident.
I worry about this.
And the ladder was knocked over on the ground. And I was like, gosh, it's always, that's when you always hurt yourself, is when you're just doing something, kind of stupid, like hanging, decorating for Christmas.
I worry about this because my family always stays inside whenever I do it. Like, they're always inside the house because I want them to stay inside the house. Because I don't want them watching me while I do it because of the distraction. To have, especially my wife, who's got to be everybody's boss.
And tell you critique and
Could you move that over to the left a little bit? No. No, because if I do, I'd have to move the ladder this way and I'd probably die. So no, it's just going to have to remain the way that it is. Oh, come on. You're being dramatic. That's what she would say. And so I just say, hey, you guys just stay in the house. Make sure the kids stay in the house. I always say I'm going to be throwing stuff down off the roof and I don't want to hit anybody. So that's my excuse to have them stay in the house. But I found out in the storm just the other night that our house is very sound insulated, like very sound insulated. Like, still a lot of stuff could go on outside and we don't know about it. Like that storm that was taking place the other night in our old house, we would have known.
It was a very old house.
We would have known for sure.
Right.
In this house, man, it's like I woke up and I saw garbage cans down the street, stuff blown over in the backyard. I thought we had a hurricane and I didn't hear anything. So if I fell off the roof, I'm pretty sure that I could be sitting there gasping my last breath, yelling at somebody, hospital, and nobody would hear me and I would just die.
Now, Linda, that works up at the front desk, who's been like a second mother to us when we moved here. She
awesome.
Found us both a place to live. She bakes everybody something for their birthday. I was in that
place to live that she found.
But do you remember when she would have us come over and do the palm tree Christmas lights? I was terrified.
She had a palm tree. It had to be.
A lot of people in Pismo have it.
90 feet tall, I would say.
I'm sure anywhere there's palm trees, people love to put Christmas lights on palm trees.
But she also had a house that was 50 feet tall. So she would say, hey guys, could you go over to my house, jump up on my roof and wrap this string light around my palm trees?
Well, the palm tree was 5 feet away from the roof.
It was.
So it's like, well, how are we going to do this?
How are we going to do this? Because you can't get it. You got to get it to stay at the top so you could wrap it down
like a candy cane,
and around. Like a candy cane. Ugh. That was the biggest pain in the ass.
I thought one of us was going to get hurt.
So did I.
I thought it was going to be me.
Because you fall, like I fell off my roof, that's like 10 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to get hurt, but maybe not that bad.
Yeah. If I fall off,
you're probably going to die.
You would die.
Or you're not going to walk again.
Yes, exactly. Vegetable status.
Thank God she moved from that house. And she sold the house we did it a couple years in a row.
Yes.
And I remember
so bad.
I remember at the time she had an extra room in her house and one of the DJs here was actually living with her. I'm like, why don't you have him do it? Like he's your room. I mean, he's pay rent.
He's reaping the benefits.
Yeah,
of having a lit palm tree.
Oh, kid, to stand that. So be careful if you're hanging your lights. I haven't got any Christmas stuff up yet. I wanted to do it, and I'm doing
weather. Weather kind of throws a wrinkle into these things. Like we got another weather system.
Well, I'm not doing anything outside. I just do inside, but I got to get the tree up.
Inside.
My wife is terrified that our dog, who is 10 months old now, he's gonna freak out. And I'm like, well, if he sees me bring in the tree and put it together piece by piece, and then turn the, I don't think he's
Which
going
is
to
more
freak out.
important? Which is more important, inside or outside?
Inside.
In your household.
Well, yeah, I think everywhere. You're
my
inside
wife
the
in.
house.
I'll grab my wife.
You're inside the house, and that's where you spend most of your time. It's winter, and so you want to be able to enjoy the, what's Christmas inside your house. I think outside your house is really for everybody else. When do you just sit outside and look at your Christmas lights? No, it's for the people that drive by. And maybe it's for you if you want your neighbors to be like, wow, you did a bang-up job, Jeff, on your Christmas lights. But at the same time, you're not sitting outside looking at your lights. You sit inside your home and you look at your lights there.
We're having an argument, and I don't know which way you sit on this. This is
Is this an argument?
my lovely wife, Becky. I think it's outside. Which is more important? Christmas decorations, inside or out?
Hey, can you talk into the front of that mic?
It's a different microphone.
Just go to the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, just go to the other one.
It's going to get
Okay.
embarrassing in
Terrible.
a minute.
Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I both are important.
I mean, which is more important? If you only had to choose one, outside or inside?
That means no decorations inside, only lights on the outside and
man.
decorations, or vice versa.
I would say decorate inside.
Why? I don't see how you think it's different.
Okay,
Like Christmas tree and
I
everything.
know. I see where you guys are coming from on this one because
You don't sit outside
can't
and
have
stare
a-
at your house.
Well, when you do the job I do. I sit out there. I grab a lawn chair and I sit across the street and
And Bill drives by your neighbor. Hey, nice job, Jeff. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
take a cup of hot chocolate and I stop people in the middle of the street. I say, "You see that house right there? Yeah, that was me." No,
You're the kind of guy that wants to pull everybody over driving through the neighborhood and tell them how hard and how you almost fell off the roof and the wind was blowing.
You wouldn't believe how difficult that was.
I know you're a vet, but don't worry. Listen, this was way tougher.
I see where you guys are coming from because you can't have a Christmas tree outside, right? So I guess the inside decorations would be more important because you have to have a Christmas tree. The Christmas tree is the foundation for your Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
So, okay, I've come around on this. If you're going to have one,
Well, and think about all the fun stuff you have inside. You
spend more time inside in the winter than you do in the
Yeah, and you
in
can make
the
your house
outside.
like Christmassy and cozy.
But the
inside.
outside tells everybody that you're like, man, check us out.
They're Christmassy.
They're
I'm
Christmassy.
looking at a website. BuzzFeed did an article. Look at this, Becky. These are Christmas don'ts. And it's a little. What is she? An angel?
Yeah,
and she's
I
got
don't like
white candle
that.
wax all
I don't
over her
like
face
that.
because she has candles on her head.
Yeah,
It's
don't-
melted all over her
Yeah,
face.
Let's not do that. That's not a
don't
good
like
decoration.
that.
That's not a good indoor or outdoor decoration.
So you say inside, Jeremy, and you were outside?
I was outside.
Yeah, I'm an inside guy, but I don't decorate.
'Cause I think
on
I-
the outside.
You don't decorate at all?
Inside only.
He's only
not
doing
outside.
the inside. That's why I even brought this
Yeah.
up. And I was like, well, I'm an outside guy because your job is to do the inside. My job is to do the outside. Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Like I didn't do anything on the inside except for put the tree up.
Yes.
No one can see my outside because of where our house is positioned.
But you can see it.
No, not even that, because you've been to my house. It's like you drive down this narrow driveway and then you drive into our yard.
This is where
and
you're
then,
wrong.
And then there's there's just not a whole lot of room
If you
there.
put lights on it, people would see it.
Well, I don't want people to see it. Stay
And do
away.
you do white Christmas lights if you were going to, or do you like the white,
I would
classy
do,
Christmas lights or the old school?
Yeah, no.
bulbs?
When we did live in a neighborhood, one of these neighborhoods like the Yabas, when I was a kid, all white Christmas lights.
Really?
I really
Jeff
like.
and I are like old school. It has to be like the big.
I hate all white.
I like all white lights.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm a white light kind of guy. Yeah.
The tackier, the better. If she'd let me, I would go full inflatables in the front yard. And I'm not talking
No,
about.
you wouldn't.
I'm not talking about just one. And this is what sucks about the inflatables too. Okay, just on a sidebar, is they're great at nighttime when they're up and running. But if you have them on a timer and they're down during the day, it just looks like a bunch of garbage in your
Mess.
yard.
Yeah, you
it's
wouldn't do that. No.
It's just a bunch of garbage.
because they're all
throughout your
they're
yard.
all the fan driven ones. Now.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And after the storm the other morning, I saw one where the fan was on, but the guy was laying on its side. It was a little snowman guy. I felt bad for the guy.
Listen, I am pro Christmas decorations and pro lights. Our neighbors do it. It's like, I swear to God, people that
gonna make this
have
the
a
poll
meth
question
lab in
today.
this house, but for some reason they decorate the hell out of it for Christmas. It's one of the best displays I've seen, and I love looking at it. It's just that's just not for me.
Meth labs make for the best.
But it's on the
decorated.
outside of his house. See, you like that because other people enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But their house is on the street. My house is buried behind another house.
But
like in
still, when
somebody's
you drive up
backyard.
at night, you would see it, and it would put you in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, I don't know. When I
Don't
go
look my
inside,
house.
you know what I do? I buy those little cinnamon apple cider wax things you put in the little light that plugs
Yeah.
into the wall and it makes the whole house smell like
I love
Christmas.
You should get them for the Febreze vent thing too, so you're prepared when you get home.
No.
you know, like for the way home, so it smells like Christmas all the time. You don't
That's
have those in your
overdoing
car, do you?
I don't, but I want some now. I'll be buying some
Well, I know
today.
I know what somebody's getting for Christmas.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
When you had your dog Rainier before you met your wife and you were on the dating scene, at any point when you had Rainier, and I know you had him for what'd you have him for, 15, 16 years?
Becky loved Rainier.
Did you
Oh,
use
man.
Rainier to get Becky?
No, but
Did you ever use Rainier to get?
It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt when she found out I had Rainier.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, you have a dog?" I mean, I think it probably opened her up to being more receptive to me. So yeah, I think it helped.
What about other girls?
No, I don't think I over the top tried. I mean, I'd just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I have a dog too." But that all my girlfriends, all my serious girlfriends,
remember in college-
loved my dog.
I remember in college we'd go back to your house.
They felt bad for him because they thought, that he was like neglected or something.
Usually your house was the house we went to after the bars closed for some reason. It was kind of the frat house, whatever. Not really the frat house. That's not the right way to say it. But it was all guys. And, like my wife, girlfriend then was asleep. And so we could go back to your house and it was you and a couple other buddies. And we were all usually out anyways. And we'd turn up the music and people from the bar sometimes would come back. And I remember there was a couple of girls that I don't know if you were seeing them, but whatever. They were interested in you, and you brought them back, and Rainier would come running down the stairs, and I remember going, "Oh, how convenient is this?" and Rainier was this cute little mutt dog that you had, and he kind of looked like I don't know what he looked like. He didn't look like a poodle.
He was so his mix. I know.
Kind of looked like a terrier mix.
I did a 23andMe on him.
Okay,
and no, I didn't. I joke, but I know that because when we bought him. Because we bought him from like some people that were selling the puppies. We bought him for $30, and which was a steal because he was an awesome dog. He was 50% Cocker Spaniel, meaning his dad was 100% Cocker Spaniel, but then his mom was a Lhasa Apso, 20 or 50% Lhasa.
So he looked more like a Cocker Spaniel.
Lhasa Apso. Yeah, he took on the characteristics of the Cocker Spaniel. 50% Lhasa Apso, so he had a really long body and was low to the ground. And
the rudder.
25%. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting now what the other 25.
Well, I mean, it's really, if you think about it, that's fine.
I think it was poodle.
But if you're single and you have a dog, people are saying if you're going to do any kind of social media or dating, and places where women might be able to go seek you out, like if they hear about you, they meet you, they want to check you out, your profile, whatever, do a little stalking. Having a picture with your pet is a profile pic. 69% of women saw an increase in matches. I'm sorry, 69% of men saw an increase in matches with women when they were in a picture with their animal, with their dog.
See, I have a problem with this.
Do we feel like it's more of I think it's more of a father type thing. Like when women see that, they're like, oh, he can take care of a pet, then he's got to be somewhat responsible, or there's something endearing about that.
There's a chance that he can take care of a dog.
What if it's a snake? That's got to be a certain kind of demographic, right? That's going to be a certain kind of woman that would be into a guy
going for a
that's
niche.
holding a picture of a boa constrictor.
You're targeting that niche market with the snake. Or a reptile of any kind.
What if it's a kitty? Ooh, that guy's weird. Am I the only one that thinks that men that just are single and have cats, that's a little strange?
Like, what do you mean by strange?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a little weird. All the men I know that have cats, and I know two that I can think of. One is in his 60s, single,
okay,
lives by himself. And the other one is my age. And I grew up with the guy. And I've never known him to have a girlfriend. I've never once known him to have a girlfriend.
Why doesn't he have a girlfriend? He's got a cat.
Guys that have cats are awkward and weird. But I'm friends with both of them. One of them I don't speak to that much because I live here now. We just don't talk anymore. I haven't talked to him since, I was left to go to college. But until I was 23, we were really tight. The other guy was somebody that we worked with.
How tight were you? You said you never knew to have a girlfriend.
Yeah, see, you're trying. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, they could be gay. Gay guys could have cats, right? But I feel like gay guys have more dogs than they have cats. But I don't know.
I don't know.
I know that's the stereotype you're trying to draw to it. I don't think he's gay, but he could be. I don't know. I've never seen him with a girl. I've never seen him talk about a girl. What if it's a hamster? These are great studies.
See, the problem with this is...
But a dog is the way you want to go.
The problem with this study is now that information is out there, now that we're vocalizing it, now that we're saying it, and if you're a female and you're listening to this conversation, how could you not be judgmental towards somebody who decided to include themselves and their dog in their photo? Like if you're a woman and you're going dating on a dating website like a Tinder or whatever, and wouldn't it be better to find out later on that he had a dog? But then you're not going to find out. You might not make that leap.
If I'm single and I have a dog, and
like I automatically am thinking that anybody who includes their pet into their photo, they're using their pet as a prop.
Oh, really?
They're using their pet as a prop.
They're not saying, "Hey, listen, if you want to date me, this little guy right here comes with it." Just so you know, like he's the only other thing in my life right now, and that's why he's in this picture with me, because we're family. See, that's kind of how I would explain it. Like, you get me, you also get this guy. Just so you know, this is. But you're saying it's more manipulative.
Yes,
and they're manipulating him.
Look at me.
Like, look at me. I'm a sweetheart, but I'm just really using this to get in your pants.
I got a cute little puppy.
Yeah,
and I know women love puppies. Like, especially if it's a puppy, too.
You can be anonymous on this, 805-543-3693, or you can brag about it as much as you want. On the phones, call in or text. What have you used as a prop to get a girl? I don't know, it was to
clean apartment count?
Get her in her pants? Just to go out with somebody?
I remember
what are you using outside of your own personality?
I went on a date in college, and I went home, and I like did inventory around the house, and I took a look at the house. I was like, there's a good chance this girl's coming back to this place tonight. And I spent like 7 hours cleaning that day.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
Stephen Pearcy from RATT. He's going to be joining us here in just a second. He's got a new album out, and I think they're back together with RATT. And we'll ask him a little bit about what's going on with that relationship.
Yeah, it's been
and they're going to be touring
years
again.
Since Out of the Cellar.
That's awesome.
Has been out. That's insane, and it's making me feel old, to be honest with you, because I remember listening to it beginning high school, middle school, and to think that was 35 years ago makes you really take perspective in the fact that your time here on this planet's not long.
It's only been one time in my life where I was just sitting there talking to somebody, and a rock star walked up and sat down at the table, and it was Stephen Pearcy back in the day at an NHRA race. I think we got him now. Stephen, you there?
Yes.
Hey, it's Jeff and Jeremy here.
How are you guys?
Hey, we're doing really well. I don't know if you remember me. This is Jeremy. I met you at an NHRA race, sitting down with Ron Capps about, 5 years ago.
Nice. Ronnie, there you go. Yeah, he almost made it this year.
Yeah, he was really close. You still follow Ron in drag racing?
Oh, of course, yeah. I have my name on the RATT banner flying on some cars here and there.
Your fiance tried out to work with us years ago, and then she got a better offer and moved on. Then she calls us up out of the blue, and she's like, hey, you should really talk to Stephen because you got a lot of cool things going on. You got some solo stuff going on. She said that you're trying to get RATT back together, or some kind of combination of RATT back together. But then she also said that what you usually do is you do these interviews from the bed. Are you in bed right now?
No, I was up quite early today.
Okay, because she's like, yeah, what he usually does is he just will sit in bed and then do these interviews and then start his day after he does the interviews.
That's what's great about radio. I'm just sitting here in my boxers right now.
Yeah, just roll out of bed.
I'm like, that's the life.
Yeah, no, I'm up early.
Okay, all right. So tell us about which would you like to tell us about first?
There's a new solo record. Yes, Due to a Thrill. We just finished it. It was delivered on the 9th.
Now, from what I understand, there's a James Bond theme to it behind it. What was the inspiration for the
A View to Thrill, Jeff?
What was the inspiration for the album?
Well, yeah, there's some underlying tones of, infatuation, whatever you want to call it, describing a kid, James Bond. So, down to the tattoo. So I decided, one record, it's just came together. I mean, when my guitar player Eric Ferentinos and I write solo stuff, we just put stuff together and see what happens and get back to it later, or we stick with it. Well, this record seemed to take on its own underworld, so to speak. So I pretty much threw in a bunch of, things having to do with Bond films and characters and had some fun with it,
So you were a big fan growing up as a kid, watching Bond films, and this is kind of a labor of love for you?
Yeah, sure. Just some fun, something different, I mean, it depends on my mood. My mood and modes could be anywhere, all over the place,
For those that haven't heard it, is it, and maybe RATT fans and fans of your work, is there a lot of similarities, or do you think that this kind of variates away from what people are used to with you and with your work with RATT?
Well, this is probably the closest somebody would say, wow, that sounds like early RATT music. It's pretty basic. We can get too carried away, keyboards here and there, effects there, but we went direct drive on this one, full-blown direct drive. Nice.
And I know the critics are saying a lot of good things about it. It's viewed with thrill, Steve Pearcy, and that's out right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Came out on the 9th.
So I hear there's Classic Rock Daily. You read some of these different articles. Things are on social media. Are you getting back together with RATT? Or are you guys still separate, or what's the deal?
No, RATT has been playing. We played the last October, some dates October, September, and then my knee started giving out, so I have to have extensive knee surgery, and I'm still waiting on a date and get me in there, but I had to take myself off the road, literally, or we would have been on the road November, December.
Yeah, what do you got?
We're going to push it back a bit.
You got meniscus issues?
No, it's called busted up knee. A knee that gave away.
The whole thing. We need a new one.
I like your technical terms better than Jeremy's. They're easy to understand.
I feel like I know 4 people that have to go in and get their meniscus done, and it's like, geez, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like they're no good. So why did you?
Yeah, I had one done. I had the right one done. And that was all great and dandy, and it felt great. So this one's the next in line.
Well, that's good to hear. So all these stories about bad blood between you and RATT, that's not true. You've been just injured.
Yeah, but the band's different now. We've gone out there. We have new band members. It's Juan Crucier on bass, vocals, original, and myself. We have Jordan Ziff on lead guitars. We have Chris Sanders on lead guitars and Pete Holmes on drums. So we go out there and do what we do, and we're having a good time.
Is it dubbed as RATT, or is there a different name?
No, it's RATT.
Okay.
This is RATT.
Now you guys are celebrating your 30th.
All that nonsense. That nonsense is all over with, thank God. So we don't even talk about it.
Now you guys are celebrating your 35th anniversary. Is there any plans for some grand, maybe reissue, maybe some bonus stuff that, is there anything planned for the 35th anniversary?
We have enough of it.
So have you ever been up to San Luis Obispo?
Of course. Totally beautiful place.
Oh, yeah. I was like, you should come up and play sometime. We've got a couple of great, they did kind of what they did in Santa Barbara. They turned one of our old theaters into a great venue for concerts. They call it the Fremont. It'd be great to have you guys up there.
That's what I hear. I would love to, and I think I've instigated it already. So that's on the books. So we'll see what happens.
So fingers crossed that we can get RATT to the Fremont. That'd be fun. I mean, there's already RATTs at the Fremont, but I'm just kidding. There's not. I think they do a good job with their pest control for the most part.
Well,
there you go.
You got to check out the new album.
Check out the next. Check out the View to a Thrill, the 5th solo record, and RATT will be going out there 2019. We're going to be touring the full world tour this time. We're not messing around. We're going to take it everywhere and have a good time doing it.
He's going to heal up just fine, and then by February, you're going to hit the road again and celebrate some of the music that you guys made?
Few months.
Yep. Hey, you got to take the holidays off
few
anyways.
months.
You got to take the holidays off anyways.
Yeah, right.
So.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Good luck with your knee, Stephen.
Well, thank you. And anybody who wants to check out where we're at, what we're doing, go to the RATTpack.com or official StephenPearcy.com. The news is all there.
All right.
All right, man. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
That's 2 T's on RATT.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. There goes Stephen Pearcy. Yeah, RATT, RATT.
2 T's.
The RATTpack.com or
Yes.
StephenPearcy.com.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
Coming up here in a little bit, we're going to have, this is really cool, a bunch of the breweries here, and we weren't able to get everybody in, and my apologies to Chris Chambers up at Dunbar, because I know he's a part of this as well, and I'll see him sometime and have a beer with him, but we got Brendan Goff coming in from Central Coast Brew.
Not the power forward for the...
yeah. You know Chris Chambers, don't you?
yeah, Seattle Supersonics.
I know he's been in here, but I don't know if you were gone.
San Diego Clippers. Yes, I know.
He's the guy that when you would come to Macaroni and Cheese Festival the year before last was just sitting there in like army boots, like khaki shorts and no shirt on.
I got to be honest, I don't think
serving
I've ever
his
met him.
beer.
I don't think I've ever met him.
Well, he's not the at that point in time, not the most approachable guy to walk up to, like awkwardly with his shirt off. But he's one of the nicest guys, and he's a part of this project.
He's a shirt off guy?
Yeah, well, he was that day. It was pretty warm though.
Did I tell you what my son did the other day?
No, what did he do?
Oh, this is so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Well, hold on. So, anyways, so we're going to have Steve Courier from SLO Brew because they're a part of this project. You sent me an email that Dusty's coming in.
Dustin's coming in. Dustin's coming in
we met him when you did your beer bong, right?
When you did your beer bong too.
That's not an accurate statement. When I tried to do a beer bong,
attempted a beer bong.
And so yeah, he's a cool dude.
Don't leave yourself out of this discussion.
So all these guys are going to come in, and what they're doing is they've made a special IPA with Sierra Nevada, who started this project to raise money for the victims of the campfire and the folks up in
and I'm glad these guys
Northern
are coming
California.
in to clear up some things because I'm kind of confused to how this works. Did Sierra Nevada make it, or did Sierra Nevada provide the recipe? I know that Firestone's also doing...
Well, they're making the beer. I saw that. I've seen on videos on Facebook.
Right.
They're making the beer in their breweries. So maybe it's the recipe, but we'll ask them.
I don't know because you got a bunch of local breweries that are going to do some stuff too. I know that Firestone's also doing a sour. That they are going to, like, I guess they're increasing the profile because what if you're not an IPA person but you're a sour person? So, but
chances are you're going to be an IPA person over a sour person.
Chances are,
I would, but if I was a betting man.
Why not spread it out? Why not try to cast the widest net you could possibly get and get those sour people drinking beer? Really, I love this idea because everybody's like, well, what can I do to help? What can I do to help?
Drink beer.
It's simple. It is simple. 100% simple. Just drink beer. Drink IPAs or drink sours or drink whatever beer is helping out those in need up in Butte County.
All right, getting a message from our buddy Matt Cross, Entertainer of the Year. He is still the Entertainer of the Year, correct? He hasn't lost that title yet, has he?
Yeah, he repeated it.
He says he's coming in today. Oh, just coincidence. We're talking about brewers coming in. Matt, I don't know if they're bringing beer, but they might. They usually do. So we got Brendan Goff, Steve Courier from SLO Brew, and we got Dustin coming in from Firestone-Walker.
Not everybody named Dustin wants to be called Dusty.
Sorry, it's a habit because we used to work with the Dusty.
I know. But
so
I just beware.
I'm going to call him Dusty and see what happens. How long do you think he'll go before? We don't know him that well, so maybe I shouldn't do that.
You know how people take liberties with your name and they call you Jer? And you like that a lot, don't you?
It's very uncomfortable if a man calls me Jer because I think it's a very feminine way to say my name. And I
Dusty?
think if a woman calls me Jer, I'm fine with it. No one calls me Jer, okay?
Dustin, if you're on your way in, you know what to call Jeremy when you get here.
My Aunt Mary, I haven't seen in a few years, and I really only spent time with her when I was a little kid, used to call me Jer. And then Lindsay that worked on the show, who was like a kid, and thought it was cute to call me Jer. But other than that, I don't care. I don't think we know him enough to mess with his name, so I won't call him Dusty. I'll call him Dustin, unless on purpose, anyways.
I don't know. You've called him Dusty twice.
What did your son do?
Oh, gosh. Speaking of
Jeff's 2-year-old son, who's always got this face.
Shirt off guy. Speaking of shirt off guy, we were downtown the other day. This guy comes jogging down the street, right? Of course, being San Luis Obispo and lots of college kids, they all feel like, they got to show the world that they're still young and still in good
well,
shape.
show it off while you can, because in 10, 15
Right,
years, it's
exactly.
not going to be there.
And I don't begrudge them that at all. But my son is very pushy in trying to get information from me. So he sees the guy coming up the street, and I'm holding my son, and he's like, Daddy, why is that guy got his shirt off? And I try, and I do the wrong thing. I should have just answered him quickly and squashed it, right? But I try, do not say anything about it, not draw attention to it, and then maybe he'll just drop it.
Nope, he asked it again and louder. I know.
Daddy, how come that guy's got his shirt off? How come that guy's got his shirt off? To the point where I have to ignore him at that point. And then as the guy is like crossing my path, he's like sticking his finger in his face. That guy right there, why has he got his shirt off?
I want to come hang out with you and your boy.
I like, gosh, because it's hot out,
Just to
okay?
be entertained.
It's hot out. Just leave it alone.
Should have just said he was exercising. That's what guys do. They take their shirts off when they exercise.
Stay cool.
Oh, I love it.
He goes, how come you don't have your shirt off? I was like, because nobody wants to see it.
All right. This is, he can hold, Jeff. We don't want to be rude to our guests. We got Dustin here. What's up, Dustin from Firestone?
What's up, boys?
Not
Morning.
Dusty.
Not do you
Dusty.
ever go by? Does your mom call you Dusty?
No, she doesn't.
Okay, well, I'll just call you Dustin today.
I
only met you once.
He called you Dusty twice.
But
this
I only
morning.
met you once.
I don't know if you should be taking liberties with somebody's name like that. If you should just assume that they want to be called by a different version of their name.
I'm going to side with Jeff on this one.
So, I know you're one of the brewers at Firestone. Is that it? Is Firestone-Walker?
I'm the head brewer at Firestone.
The head brewer. Well, I thought Matt was the head brewer.
Matt's the brewmaster.
Oh, okay.
What's the
I just
difference?
don't know my...
The difference is one more title. He's the basic general manager of the whole plant.
Are you vice president? Are you Pence?
No, sir. I got boots on the ground. I'm still working.
I'll say this. This is Brendan. I worked with Dustin over at Firestone, and when we had problems on the brew deck, we would call Dustin. Dustin was the guy that we had that would fix all of our problems, basically.
Because your hands are still getting dirty.
I'm still working the brew house. Yeah, I'm working with the team. And
Matt's doing a little bit of traveling.
Matt travels, educates,
Yes.
Learns. He's a busy
What's the
man.
last thing Matt consulted you on?
We're constantly consulting. Matt's still my mentor. We're doing research and development, new product coming out next year, and he certainly oversees me and makes sure that I'm doing my job accurately and adequately. So he's very, very much on.
That research and development part sounds fun. Just give me a call if you guys need any help with it.
Will do.
Do you sit down and go, have, what do we have here where we sit down with our program director and we have those evaluations? What are those called, Jeff?
I think you just nailed it on the head.
No, they're not called evaluations. They're called something else. But
Review.
Review, yeah. Does
Yeah.
he do the review with you? The
Absolutely.
annual review.
Yeah, annual reviews.
And it's pretty much all filled out. Ours is pretty much all filled out. They're like, yeah, just sign this. I gave you all 10s.
No, Matt and I have been working together. Yeah, I certainly didn't get all 10s, but
Well, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too,
You
bud.
were also the engineer behind that amazing 35-plus foot beer bong
I
that
did.
Jeff
Which is awesome.
swallowed 60-something
It's so
ounces into.
easy to drink when you're drinking from a gravity-fed tube from 35 feet in the air.
Yeah.
It just goes down like that.
Brandon Goff also here from Central Coast Brew. Good to see you, Brendan.
Good to see you too, bud.
We've got more to catch up there, and then we've got a couple of guys from SLO Brew. We've got Steve Curry who just walked in. Grab that mic, Steve. Nice to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a little bit.
Good morning, Steve.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
Is that not working?
It's a stark possibility. That's going to be on your.
It was working earlier.
That's going to be on your performance review.
Oh,
Not all 10s.
There it is. There it is. All right.
Room for improvement.
Try that again.
Good morning.
How you doing? And who did you bring with you?
We brought Corey. He comes into the brewery all the time, and he's got a story.
So
for
what,
us.
you're just a big fan?
Corey, what's the
You just
story?
drink a lot of SLO Brew?
I do, yeah. My work's right up there, so I get to wobble down and
Good for
and
you.
back up,
What do you do? What do you do there? You just one of the brewers?
No, I work at Athlon Fitness and Performance. Yeah.
Oh no,
I'm a
you're
personal
literally
trainer.
just a fan of the beer.
Just a big fan of
Oh,
beer.
here into the mic.
So
People have to. Sorry, I wish. No, go ahead. Tell
Well,
us.
Corey's got quite a story. He has to deal with this whole thing that we're gathering together.
It's not really about us. It's about what we're trying to help out, and this is somebody that was directly affected by the fire.
So, okay. Well, tell us what happened.
What happened in your family?
So my house is, I was explaining earlier, is basically between Chico and Paradise. On the way up to Paradise off Skyway, there's a Butte Creek Canyon. And so my house that I grew up in, my dad built, was there, and it actually got burned down. So me and my wife went up there the week before Thanksgiving just to go up and support and just check it out. We brought a bunch of like dog food and stuff because I knew that a lot of the places that had humans in it, they weren't accepting any more donations just because they didn't have anywhere to store it. And
everybody always thinks of humans and what we need, but animals need stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. And so the rains were coming too, so they didn't have anywhere to store it. So we went up there and brought a bunch of places that donated PetSmart. They gave us about like 400 pounds of food for like $80. Limos and donated bowls and food. And then Farm Supply also donated a bunch of food.
How
and stuff.
cool was that?
It was great. It was. We went for like 2 hours, went around, and everyone was like super nice. And
how's your family?
They're good. I mean, as good as they could be. You know, it's they're not in a tent. Luckily, I have family up there, so they're staying in like a little like guest house, which is beyond what a lot of other people are having to deal with right now.
I'm sorry, I missed kind of exactly where your folks' house was. Is it near Paradise or?
Yeah, so it's right next to Paradise. It's in the Butte Creek.
So
Canyon.
I mean, can you explain to us kind of like how fast this fire moved in there? Because I'm still trying to like get my head wrapped around. It sounds like
the
a lot of people
process.
ended up losing their lives, and they didn't get evacuated in time.
So my mom took a picture from our porch on the back, and that was around like 7, and it was like massive smoke. I'll show you guys. Massive
7
smoke.
a.m.?
7 a.m. And about an hour or two earlier, I think that's when they lost power, and you start kind of feeling the heat, I guess, from the fire, and then she just kind of left, just because that was about, there's I guess nothing really else you could really do. You don't really know what to do.
So this is 7 o'clock in the morning. You wake up, you see a fire. You're probably like, oh gosh, I hope that doesn't get here. And then eventually you're just like, wow, it's right down on us. And then you just have to lose everything.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
But at least they're okay. She was able to grab our dog, and but yeah, it's pretty wild just going up there and just seeing it. It literally looks like a war zone. It was pretty wild.
So I know from the news there's still over 1,000 people missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there were so many people that lost their homes. Thousands of structures.
Yes,
homes.
17,000.
I love how they call it structures on the news. Like, just say homes. I mean, I realize it's not. It might have been a shop too, but I mean, there was a lot of homes lost.
Yeah.
And so Sierra Nevada started this program. Brenda, do you want to talk a little bit about what Sierra Nevada started, and then how you guys are jumping on board?
Yeah. So Sierra Nevada is located in Chico, so they were right kind of in the in the heart of this fire. They were their brewery was not affected by the fire itself, but obviously everywhere in that surrounding area was just decimated. And so Sierra Nevada is one of the oldest, most well-respected craft breweries in the country, and so they wanted to do something to pull together to help the victims of this fire. And so the first time I came across it, I saw it on their Instagram feed. They posted something, and they were going to brew this beer called Resilience IPA, and they were going to donate 100% of the sales of this beer that they made to the fire victims. And so they started. Sierra Nevada sent out some emails to breweries across the country, kind of trying to get them to rally around this cause and seeing if anybody else wanted to be involved with this fundraiser. And it was really, as a brewer and someone who's kind of in that industry and community, it was really awesome because on my Instagram feed, every 5 minutes, I just kept seeing new breweries kind of raise their hand. It was like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. Sure, we'll do it. And I mean, I know more breweries that are doing it that aren't doing it. The numbers now are, when we brewed this beer, the numbers I had were about 400 breweries. That number's now grown to over 1,000. So there's 1,000 breweries now that are involved with it.
We're already getting people asking for it at the bar.
Wow, that's That's good. It's the word's spreading fast if that's the case.
So I mean, how long does it take to make beer? I remember you helped us make a beer 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was.
It
was a few months,
year.
right?
It was last year. It's been a long
Felt
year.
like it. Feels like it. It depends on the beer. It takes about 2.5 weeks.
Oh, okay. So this will be a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait till it's done. Then you come back, we'll try it and see kind of where it's at. So we have all these breweries that are on board, and they're all giving proceeds. Most of them, 100%, right?
100%.
Two victims of the fire.
Yeah, and there's some other local breweries as well. I think Barrel House is involved. I
know Dunbar's involved.
Dunbar's involved.
We couldn't get everybody in here. As we're passing mics around here with four of you.
It was just, again, it was so awesome to see the community kind of, bond together for this. It was pretty cool.
Now, Dustin, you did the math based on how much money they could receive from this, and it's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, you got over 1,000 breweries, and Sierra requested each brewery to produce at least 7 barrels of beer. So if 1,000 breweries make and sell 7 barrels of beer through pint at $5-6 a pint, we're gonna generate as a community for them over $8 million.
That's incredible. Now, isn't it entirely possible too that? Yeah, drink up. Corey's doing it. Keep drinking. Yep. Just keep drinking. Isn't it possible that you run out after you brew the batch and then pick it back up again?
I'm sure it's possible. Yeah, if people are willing to do it.
I mean, we could get people, drinking this IPA all through next year.
Yeah, but you've seen the facilities that we walked into since they upped their game at Firestone. I mean, you guys could make millions of gallons of this.
We could, yes.
And SLO Brew, you got a big facility too now.
Yeah.
And so do you. I mean, craft beer on the
there's
Central
no
Coast.
excuses. Get on the line right now.
I mean, you guys all have kind of newer facilities that can brew a lot of beer. So, I mean, it's interesting to see how the craft beer game is, upped its game around here.
Yeah, that helped us scoot this into the schedule that fast too, having that capacity.
Just flip it on and turn it over.
Is it a recipe that Sierra Nevada's kind of giving you, and then they're just saying, hey, do you guys get to alter it, do anything with it, or what's the plan on that?
I mean, ideally, you keep the recipe what they were asking for, and it's a pretty basic, West Coast style IPA recipe with 2-row base malt, a little bit of caramel malt, and then your classic, California IPA hops and Cascade and Centennial. And what I thought would be interesting is we get all the beers together and taste them. Since it's basically the same recipe, then you can look at sort of process it.
Can we do the taste test right here?
Yeah, we should bring them all in.
Well, that was I was going to ask you is how are we going to launch this? Have we all decided to launch it on the same day? Will it be ready maybe at SLO Brew before Firestone, or how does it? Have you guys even thought about working together on that, or?
I know ours
just
will be ready on the 18th of December, and we'll be selling it through all 3 of our facilities in Venice, Buellton, and Paso.
Guys, Firestone has very strict scheduling.
Right. You know what? He's not telling us. It will be ready. What was the day?
He knows.
The 18th?
The 18th.
It'll be ready at the 18th at 8:01 and 37 seconds.
Definitely 8:01.
I look at our schedule, I'm like, I don't know, I think it's 2 weeks or something.
So you're going on the 18th, and you're not quite there yet.
All done.
Yeah, the one that we brewed. So SLO Brew and Central Coast Brewing brewed it as a collaboration beer.
Okay.
So it's actually fermenting away at the pub downtown in SLO Brew. And I think it's probably 2.5, 3 weeks. We schedule probably a little different than Firestone.
So do you think you'll launch it on the same day? Or you'll be put it on the taps on the same day?
What day is
possible?
Okay, how about this?
Brendan's like,
when
wait a
it's
second.
done and you guys
A little
are
bit more
cool
work
with
to do.
it, we'll get Dustin to bring his beer.
I think it'll be ready on the 18th.
I was going to say it might even be before then.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a race now.
So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing great work. And, Corey, I'm so sorry for your family and everybody out there.
But stopping by and sharing your story.
The one thing that I loved last year was when they had the fires up in Santa Rosa is how everybody got together, but the wine community especially, because just another community kind of like Paso Robles. Paso got together and they raised a lot of money for those guys, and it's so great to see that we continually do that. And man, I mean, we could be next. I mean, it feels like all of California's burned butt here. So
it's unfortunate that there are so many fundraising efforts, because there's so much disaster in California right now. It's heartbreaking. I had a friend that used to work at the brewery who lost his brand new home in the car fire, and it's just nonstop. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like I know like 3 or 4 people that in the last couple of years have lost, or their families lost their homes just because of one of these fires north and south of us. So it's great to hear what you guys are doing. Okay, so the 18th, pencil it in.
Yeah, we'll call the 18th the kind of official release date.
18-ish.
Yeah, 18-ish.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in, all you guys. It was great to talk to you. Maybe you come back when it's done, and we're
going to drink lots.
We drink it on the air, and we buy it.
Yeah, we'll have to buy it on the air. Yeah.
We'll make that
Put a pot in the middle. We could throw some dollars.
You want cash, credit, check? What do you think?
We also have another beer that we're doing too. We're doing a project out of Barrel Works, and we have a farmhouse saison called Little Relief. That'll be for sale at all of our facilities, and 100% of those proceeds will also go to the camp and the Woolsey fire as well.
Nice, because people that might not be into the IPA,
right?
They want sour on their profile,
right? So yeah, we're just trying to do as much as we can to help where and when we can.
So nice.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Dusty.
Yeah, thanks.
Dustin.
Corey, I appreciate it, Jerome.
Hey, no one's ever called me that.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOC.com.
Say good morning to Stephen Kraken. Brink.
Good morning.
What's up, Kraggles?
How are you?
We have not had you in quite some time. Matt, settle down. We're going to get to you, okay?
I've been here.
God, we're going to get to you, Matt.
He's jittery.
I've seen you more than I've seen this guy, and he's been coming on every Friday for, I don't know, over a decade.
In order for you to matter, you have to show up less.
Apparently.
And
you're welcome for filling in for you on vacation.
What have you been?
No worries, bro.
Where have you been? Why have we not done any wood
Missouri,
stuff in a while?
Missouri, man.
That's the underline.
I had to go to Missouri twice.
He hasn't recognized you.
Where was Steve at?
He was in Missouri.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you could talk and listen at the same time.
Yeah, I absolutely
You were talking over him. I thought it was rude. He hasn't been here in a while. Let's show some respect.
Yeah.
Don't respect the guy that filled in for you while you're gone on vacation.
I already thanked him for that. And I thanked him on the air, and I thanked him personally. I even texted him. Didn't I? Did I text you?
No, you didn't text me.
I was going to text you.
All I got was some kind of trolling email from your timeshare.
Okay.
Telling me I could get a good deal right now in a hotel room. I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that the place you guys stay at?
No, you got an email that said, thanks for sharing the photo. We'll give you 10% off a room if you want to stay there.
Yeah, they said, enjoy this certificate for a future stay at San Jose del Cabo.
It's on the Sea of Cortez, by the way.
They'll give you a free meal if you go sit through a whole timeshare thing.
It's a
timeshare thing. Why would I want to do that?
No, don't do that. You can go there. You don't have to sit to the timeshare thing. So, we've gone through this on the air. When I bought it, a different company owned it, and we bought with them. The current company that owned it is like the biggest timeshare company in the world.
Yeah, Diamond Resorts, it says.
It's like you just walk in the door and they're like, give us your credit card. And you're like, no, not at the resort, but like, it's like you go into the resort, and the resort is like the resort. And then down this hallway,
a separate place.
There's something they call the VIP lounge. Don't let them take you there. I don't care how much free tequila they're going to give you.
This is the thing. They send you a certificate for 10% off because you put my name on some email list.
I didn't put your name on an email. I just shared the photo on our email, our Facebook page, because we got over almost 4,000 people. So I was just thinking hey, if we're going to have I'm trying to win a room. So we had this picture of my wife and my cousin and at the resort, and I entered it into a photo contest as kicks, and sure as whatever, we're in first place. We're in front of hundreds and hundreds of people that submitted photos. Because we've already got that many votes.
When I first saw the picture, I thought you were in the pool. I didn't look closely enough. I'm all, well, not looking so hot by the pool there, buddy.
What are you trying to say about my cousin?
She's a girl.
What are you, gay? Why? You're not. I don't understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that.
I thought you had a one piece on.
You should roll with that. Actually, that's a good.
He wears like an Andre the Giant style one piece.
That's not the suit for you.
Okay, let's just move on.
He was a wrestler growing up.
So, anyways,
is this one of those things though where they send you a 10% certificate? They send you a 10% certificate, and then you show up there like the. Changing my 10% certificate. They're like, all right, cool, here you go. And then for the whole week that you're there, they hound you about the fact that you won't sit through their timeshare thing because we were kind enough to give you a 10% off gift certificate.
That's never happened. No. Normally when you first check in, they ask you if you would like to do the meeting.
No.
And then they'll give you a credit.
Tequila.
For us, it's a room credit, like a couple $100 off. credit to the room to spend at the resort.
Do they give you the room key prior to asking you, would you like to sit in the meeting?
You are all checked in. They give you your room keys. Your baggage is being taken up to your room, and they want you to come in and sit down. And then they'll say, hey, would you like to sit through one of our meetings? Then they're like, hey, would you like to go to a meeting this week?
Before giving you the room key, that would be really bad, because then that means
would be really
they're
bad.
giving you like the custodian's closet.
And even though
it's the room,
I want to say the timeshare company is actually, I don't want to speak anything too bad about them, but it's just I'm just not interested in buying or giving them more money, and that's what they constantly want to do to stay in business, is get the owners that already own to give them more money.
We sat through one on our honeymoon for like a free helicopter ride in Hawaii. Like, if you sit through this, timeshare thing, you get, so you sit down and the guy looks us up. I mean, we're like 25 years old, Jeannie and I, and he looks at us and I go, so tell me, he goes, you just want the helicopter ride? I go, yeah. He goes, okay, you just got to sit here for a minute. We're like sitting there in silence. He's like, so you work out or anything? Or like, just, I'm like, yeah. Like 5 minutes later, he's like, all right, you can go get your coupon. I was like, thanks, bro. Free helicopter ride.
I just think that's rare nowadays.
You're a waste of time to him.
Yeah, I mean, right when we sat down, he's like, I'm not meeting my quota.
Well, because everybody would just go to the meeting to get something out of it for free, right? That's the reason I went for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason to go. I mean,
but you got suckered in and you bought it, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure that was that last day. That guy,
I didn't buy the first meeting.
That guy's last day on the job.
Yeah.
It was really.
Did you hear what Tony was talking to that guy about? What the hell's going on?
Matt Cross is here from Broad Street Public House, just kicking it. We were just talking coming in here that you got a little comedy action going. You had some comedians come in to do some open mic stand up stuff. Are you going to continue to do that?
Yeah, next Friday the 7th, we're having our second comedy night. It was packed. We're gonna have to figure out a way to like limit. I don't know if we have to do tickets or what, but first come, first serve, and we're going to have to start turning people away because we were way past capacity.
Bleachers.
Seriously.
Bring in bleachers.
Somebody's like, hey, just put some plywood on top of your shuffleboard, but do like VIP seating.
Hey,
that sounds awesome.
I have a lesson for you in bar ownership. Don't ever say you're past capacity. Say you're at capacity. There's a reason why.
Yeah, there's something called the fire department. They might want to come see you.
They come by. Actually, one of the fire guys.
I mean, we were at capacity.
We were near capacity. That's what I meant to say. So close to capacity. Excuse me.
What is your... Never mind. Let's not get into that. Hey, how you doing? Hi, Steve.
It's 1,000 people.
How's it going?
Who's our pet of the week this week?
Avalon. Avalon is a beautiful, beautiful 9-year-old cat. He's domestic medium hair, flame point coloring, so he's got that like blonde locks. Gorgeous, gorgeous guy that's been overlooked. He's one of the few animals that didn't get to go home at the Black Friday.
It's like the Fabio of cats.
He is.
Yeah, what happened? I heard that you guys like ran out of pets or something.
125, dude.
You were at capacity.
125 animals.
You did a Black Friday thing with pets?
Yeah, we
Free
do.
dogs and cats.
We partner up with Rancho Grande Motors, Subaru. They do the Subaru Loves Pets campaign. You hear about it, like when people buy a car, they can direct some of the money to some nonprofits. And ASPCA
or something? Shelter?
Yeah, ASPCA is one of them. And then we can get grants from the ASPCA then, and it covers adoption fees for these animals for the entire weekend. So, yeah, I mean, we're stoked. We had we broke a record, and we had 125 adoptions, which is fantastic. But there are still a few animals that have not gone home that got overlooked, and Avalon's one of them. He's been actually at the shelter for a while, and the dude's just a cool guy. I mean, he's like a 9-year-old cat. He already knows who he is, what he does, and he's got his personality. He's like, hey, he wants to pet the cat. Loves his treats. He's a very treat-motivated guy.
Is he fat?
Yeah, kind of chubby.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's just, he's
he's in the prime of his life.
Yeah, he's in his prime. He's a well-trained athlete.
He's a middle-aged cat.
He's
that is such a cool name.
Avalon?
Like, I think if
it's a car. It's a Toyota.
It's a Cidian.
It's a Cidian, yeah.
Yeah,
well,
Catalina.
okay, yeah.
That's what makes it a cool name.
Well, that makes it cool, but it's also a Toyota.
It is.
I think I'd change his name.
I think I could run.
It's a Toyota.
Chubbs.
See, I want to change my name to Avalon now.
Chubbs McGee.
I think you should change your name to A, B, C, D, E.
You look like an Avalon.
Yeah, I'm Avalon Kingman.
Try to be cool, but not really.
You have to grow your hair out.
Yeah,
like Fabio.
What were you doing in Missouri?
I feel like if your name is Avalon, you need to look like, what's that guy, the old actor guy that's always tan? What's his name? Oh, gosh, you guys.
Oh, gosh.
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, he's friends with Rod Stewart. They did a reality show
He
together.
did a talk show for a while.
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
You think if I just typed in Rod Stewart's tan friend?
See what happens.
Possible. Isn't it George something?
Yes.
George of the Jungle. Is that correct?
George Strait.
George.
Wow, guys. So anyways, Avalon, he's 9 years old. He's neutered, vaccinated, microchipped. He's free, fee waived.
Free cat.
Comes with a month of pet insurance. If you have the ability to bring a loving cat into your home, definitely make sure to check out Avalon. He's at our San Luis Obispo Adoption Center.
Hamilton.
There it is.
Why are we talking about George Hamilton?
That was the weirdest tangent ever.
I don't know how we got
No,
there.
every day it's a tangent. It's just trying to, rein it in.
How about if you go Avalon Hamilton? Oh, that's an awesome name.
Thanks, Kyle. You're a day late and $1 short.
You can now own Avalon Hamilton the cat.
You too can have Avalon Hamilton the cat.
Officially named by KZOZ Studios.
What were you doing in Missouri?
So I was in Kansas City 3 weeks ago. That was for a conference that I was there for a week. It's actually kind of cool. It's
What is a Humane Society conference
It's
like?
administrators from animal shelters,
Beat pets.
private and municipal.
You guys all get drunk after the seminars?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Go out with all
Is it like Michael Scott? You invite everybody back to your room. You get the disco
It's
ball?
more of like you hang out with all like the reps from all the big companies, and they're the ones like try to court us and like.
Oh, they're buying you drinks?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
No, I think I had like
You need an
two
assistant
bottles of like $120 sake.
You need an assistant administrator next year?
Yeah, you want to carry my bags? Yeah.
I'm in. I'll carry one. Reboot.
I don't know if I like Jackie that much.
He just carries my satchel.
Where in Missouri do you go?
So it was in Kansas City.
Oh.
Actually, I was.
Why do you want to go to Kansas City?
This made me think of Jeremy.
Kansas City?
No, listen.
Well, I've never been.
Okay, so have you ever had a paranormal experience?
Yes.
Like a real legit paranormal experience?
No, I guess I haven't.
I have. At this hotel, it's my first time ever having a true legit. There was a ghost encounter. It was amazing.
Did you see the ghost?
I didn't see the ghost, but I felt the ghost.
Where?
Really?
Was he touching you?
I don't know if it was a he or a her, but it was definitely in my hotel room.
I see that.
I guarantee.
Yeah, okay.
So no, interestingly enough, because like my TV would come on randomly, and then halfway through the conference, it was like maybe Thursday, right before, like I was like, hey, going to bed. I'm like, hey, just keep it down. TV comes on in the middle of the night without the volume on. Only night the whole week had done that.
Just turns on by itself.
It had been turning on by itself.
How much $200 sake did you drink?
That was only one night. No, it had been turning on by itself overnight, every single night. But then the night that I said, hey, can you please keep it down? It turned on without any volume. So anyways, I'm like, and like weird things were kind of happening, like drawers left open. And I'm like, I didn't open that drawer. Anyways, so then I did some research. I'm like, this is weird, right? Like, okay. And then I got an Uber ride back to the hotel, and the driver was like, oh yeah, this hotel's haunted. I'm like, huh? Right? So then I looked it up online, and sure enough, like 150 people died there in 1984. It's some like horrible, tragic accident.
Like what happened?
Look up Kansas City Sheraton. It's like a walkway collapsed.
Like it was like an earthquake or what? Just a
bad engineering kind of thing or something. But yeah, if you look at Kansas City Sheraton,
maybe it was a wiring problem.
Weren't you like freaked out after that?
I was a little, but it was like there was nothing nefarious going on. Like I was like, whatever.
Yeah, it would be gross because I would have pooped the bed the first time.
As long, hey, you know what? The ghost turned it down, so I was fine. Whatever. You can watch TV all night if you want.
Yeah, it says here the Kansas City Sheraton, 138 people died due to faulty TV wiring.
It does.
All right. Well, I'm glad you made it back.
Check that out on
I'm back.
Snopes.
I've been rained on. It's been sleet. There's been snow. There's been tornadoes. There's been heat. There's been fires. We haven't had an earthquake yet, so weather's just been crazy. And then
Woodyhumane.org for Avalon. And if you don't like the name like me and you want to change it, you can do that with a pet.
Avalon
I've adopted a dog.
No matter what you name your cat, he's not going to come when you call him.
Yeah, so that's very true.
Unless you call him Beaver.
Our cat does come.
Come, Beaver.
Well, she has some ice cream.
Yeah, you're right.
My cat used to run for ice cream.
Gosh. Hotel there.
I told you.
Skyway collapsed.
I told you. It was haunted.
Want to say congratulations to Randy Griffith. Congratulations. We haven't been able to get him on the... Oh, maybe this is him right here. Hello, who's this? You're on the radio.
This is Roger.
Oh, hold on, Roger. We don't need you. Randy Griffith, you've been drawn and you are going. We have 2 tickets for you to go to New Year's Eve at Rava Wine.
Win? Because he's got a full voicemail box. Like
he's got other stuff to do.
Nothing makes me more angry in life than people with full voicemail boxes, because I understand that you're a very important person, but you can't delete some of your voicemails, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, I think do I have some of that on tape here? Let's listen.
The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages.
Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, so
should you be able to win if we can't leave you a message to tell you that you won?
The reason it was so funny because that's the 3rd or 4th time you called him.
I just tried to get him on the phone.
We're finally going to leave him a message.
Let him know, and then I went to leave him a message, and I can't.
It was a full voicemail box.
Yeah, we drew his name. You know, it came up in the number generator. He's the winner. we're going to give him, some time to figure this out.
So you're going to
we'll try him again
people
later.
that are, I guess, for lack of a better term, irresponsible with their voicemail by giving them a nice prize pack.
I think it's it's because his voicemail said he didn't have a signal or he was out on the set, and that hooked you right there.
I am very intrigued.
Yes, otherwise you would have hung up and moved on. In any other situation.
Yeah, his voicemail said that he was out on some set somewhere.
I either don't have a signal or I'm out on the set.
Again?
So please leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
We can't leave our name and number because your voicemail's full.
Because you're always out on the set.
The mailbox is full. I cannot
Jeremy,
accept any messages.
in most instances, Jeremy would say, well, we need to move on and we need to give somebody else the prize because we can't.
That was the old Jeremy before vacation. Old Jeremy before vacation was a real jerk.
No, I think. Can I
New Jeremy is not a jerk. I want to give people second chances.
I think you are.
It's the holidays.
I think this is the pentult.
Oh, why do you have to be so difficult?
Ultimate. You're being a jerk because.
Okay, why?
There are other people that would be in the running for this. But this guy, you think that he's like out on a set, like he could give you some kind of like he's
VIP status?
VIP status, yeah. Like get you in contact with another famous person. Like, you could meet somebody else famous because he's always out on a set by giving him the prize.
Might meet a George Harrison.
Or like the second.
Yeah, like a George.
Is that what you think this is really about?
Hamilton.
George Hamilton.
George Harrison
would be cool.
Yeah, even better.
Maybe he knows like the second backup drummer to Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Yo, dog.
You're like not the original drummer of Kiss, but like the second drummer of Kiss. Maybe he knows like the next drummer of Kiss. This guy.
Get some tanning advice.
This is great.
What I'm just saying is, I can't believe
this is the new Jeremy.
Your lack of patience for other people with phone
this
problems.
Is how he wins
and
arguments.
this guy has a full voicemail
You won't
box,
like me when I'm angry.
and you're like, okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and give him the prize.
He's trying to lower his blood pressure. Give him a break.
Oh, Longboy Kevin says he's surfing. That's what they say. They're out on the set.
What?
So he's out surfing.
Now that you know he's a surf bum, can we move on and give it to somebody else? He's not somebody else.
I've never heard. I know a lot of surfers. I've never heard a surfer say, "I'm out on this." I'm out on the set.
We've already publicly said he's the winner.
So we can't go back.
We have other tickets. We're going to be giving away tickets next week and the week after that.
Is this from Incredible Hulk, the TV show?
Yes, it is. Great job. You win a star.
Thank you.
Wow.
A sticker.
That's impressive.
Still,
This is at the end when he's just walking with ripped pants and sad.
Yeah.
This is like the greatest depressing sad music. When Jeff goes on a rant, this is what I'm playing from now on.
It doesn't bother me.
Because it makes me sad in my heart.
Like me when I'm
that
angry.
He is so dark in his.
But you see my point on this, right?
Dr. Banner!
He still does not know he won unless he's listening to this conversation right now.
Hey, one of his buddies might have just said, "Hey, Randy,
delete some of your voicemails."
And they're trying to those idiots on the radio because that's what people call us.
That's fine.
Hey, it's that idiot on the radio. That's.
I just think it's strange.
Yeah, they're trying to call you.
You guys need T-shirts like that. KZOZ, the idiots on the radio.
Yeah,
cartoon pictures. I'll work on it.
Okay, are you an artist?
No, I know people.
Perfect.
His daughters.
I am Matt Cross.
His daughters are pretty good artists.
Phoebe will do it for sure.
So, Randy Griffith, you are going. I'm sorry. I'm fighting for you, Randy.
I don't know
this is Jeremy. I'm in your corner.
I don't know how we're going to contact you about it because you can't delete some of your damn voicemails.
And another shot for you to go to the New Year's Eve events at Bravo Wines. It's their big soiree. They also have cabaret dancers, so they're actually going to come out, I guess,
Kiss.
and do that.
Or the drummer from Kiss.
And then Eric Singer from Kiss is going to be there. They're going to have. I don't know everybody else that's going to be there.
It's an all-star cover band, basically.
But they got somebody from Guns N' Roses is in the band.
Somebody
from Alice Cooper's in the band. I think.
What's the name of the band?
Slim from Stray Cats is going to be in the band.
Something Winos?
I believe.
What's Sunset Winos?
Yeah, Sunset Winos. Good memory.
Thank you. That's from
That's
hearing
gonna be fun.
That's from hearing the trailer on the
So,
radio.
anyways, you're going to win $30 right now to go out to Rava. They do a ton of sparkling wines as well as still wines, but you can buy some bottles, and then you'll have a shot to go to this party on New Year's Eve.
Resilience IPA. We had Dustin in from Firestone, Brendan in from CCB, Steve in from SLO Brew. this morning, and we're talking about some of the numbers on this Resilience IPA. It said 1,000 breweries nationwide are going to brew this Resilience IPA. How much money could that raise based on Dustin's math?
According to Dustin.
Yes.
Brewer math. All right, it's New Year's Eve. Robert Wines with the Sunset
Winos.
Winos, yeah. Clark.
Yeah.
What's up, Clark? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Do you like that name?
Do I like my name?
Yeah. Clark.
I've had it for 50 years. Yeah, I like it.
Very deep conversation that we're having here.
Well, we're getting there. If you'd shut up, let me finish my question.
Okay.
Please.
I want to know how deep this was going to go. Go ahead.
I was always curious if people like their name being Clark, since Clark Griswold was an idiot.
Now we know.
I'm really making this up as I go.
What a great movie.
Go ahead, Jeff.
What was the question this morning? Oh, yeah. We got 1,000 breweries are getting involved in the Resilience IPA. Dustin was doing some quick math. Dustin, the head brewer up at Firestone, who's doing some quick math, and he thinks that it'll make the efforts for Paradise raise about this much money. How much did he say it was?
He said potentially $8 million.
Good job.
Correct.
Clark.
Look at that.
I even remember the equation. I don't know why it's stuck in my head. He said 1,000 breweries at 7 barrels per
times like
brewery.
$6 or
$6 a
something.
pint. $5 to $6 a pint. Yeah. Crazy.
Very cool, man.
So
you got $30 to go to Rava, and your name goes in half of the grand prize and tickets to go to the New Year's Eve party, okay?
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
So Resilience IPA is just going to be sold in pints?
It can't be sold. It's not going to be sold in bars. Like the breweries have to sell it from their tasting rooms,
from the tap rooms.
Yeah, tap rooms. Sorry, different than tasting rooms. Yeah,
it's not going to be available in bottles. Is my question.
I don't believe so.
Maybe from Sierra Nevada.
Maybe from Sierra Nevada. I was talking to Brendan outside, and he said, "I said, hey, what if we wanted to carry it to help donate? And he said, we'll contact Sierra Nevada and see if they're distributing out. They're only going to distribute to bars, but all the breweries that are doing it, they're asking them not to distribute it to bars.
Okay, I see. So only Sierra Nevada
So they have
is
control
going to be doing that.
Which is a huge expense. I mean, there's money behind getting the shipping and all, getting all that out there.
So if Sierra Nevada has it in bottles, is that a good gift to give for the holidays? I say yes.
Absolutely.
Please send some my way. I will send some your way. Reciprocal. I buy you a 6-pack, you buy me a 6-pack.
Done if it's in bottles.
Okay. Then we're doing our part.
That was deep. All right. How you doing, Seth?
I'm okay.
Very cool. You have anything to add?
How do you like your name being Seth?
Opening night.
I hated it as a kid. It's horrible. No one ever could pronounce it. No one ever had that name. I never met anybody with that same name till I was 30.
Nobody could call me Jeremy. They all called me Jeremy. Couldn't stand that.
Jeremy, yep.
Yeah. Well, mine is, short vowel, one syllable word. People just stretch it out, but add syllables to it.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Name Talk?
Were you named after anybody in your family?
National Public Radio.
This is actually an interesting. You know what I was named after?
We're talking about.
There was some show on in the Northwest called "Here Comes the Brides."
Why people?
And my mom had a crush on the guy on the show. He's the star. His name was Jeremy something. I don't know. I go, that's kind of weird and creepy that you wanted to
your son
hook up with somebody and you named your son after him.
Oh, really? So I know exactly who she's talking about.
There was this girl in 8th grade who had a crush on me. Her name was Crystal Ferdig, and she named her first son Jeremy. I hadn't talked to her after high school. Found out just a few years ago.
It's yours.
And I don't want to sound conceited or anything, but I think she named it after me. Which I should be honored, but it's also creepy.
Is she asking for palimony or
do you feel like
paternity?
Your name has given you mommy issues?
What'd you say?
Do you feel like your name is giving you mommy issues?
Did you speak in class today?
Freudian mommy issues.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a site for that. A website.
Yeah. We've been finding all kinds of fun sites today.
Oh God.
Hashtag ponyplay.
Why is it so weird when
You'll hate me later.
walks in the room? Like Steve.
Why do you have to show me the video?
Packer fan.
Like the video, I couldn't get away from that video.
Hold on. Like this is what's weird
Steve
about
is the weirdest guy I've ever met in my life. and he's the only one I know. Well, okay, what is the one that everybody would most know? It's where people dress up like mascots. Or they
like fur fetish furries.
Yeah, furry things.
Furries.
They have like conventions.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Steve comes in today and he's talking about some horseplay thing, and
Pony
it's a real thing.
No, it's not just horses. It's just pony.
And people act
people
like
dressing up like horses
in a sexual way. And
eventually, I think that's where it goes.
Yeah, it's like
the video he showed me was not
horseplay. Is if you're messing around.
Yeah.
So okay, this
that's
is
what you gotta call it.
But can we talk about that's weird in its own right?
Yeah.
But the fact that Steve puts the video on for Matt to watch
and starts rubbing his back.
That was
taking his shoes off.
And then he walks out of the room and lets the video just continue to play for him. So Matt feels obligated to be into it for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I'm like, what are you watching? He's like, I don't know, this video that Steve put on for me. I feel like Steve's like assaulting Matt.
A little bit. I felt a little bit assaulted.
Yeah, I would feel a little bit weird. And I look over.
No, but Steve is that guy that you love. He's your buddy, but he's the weird one.
Like
he's the odd one.
I feel like it's subtle recruitment.
Yeah.
Is what I think it is.
Do you need a shower now or just a brush down? A new saddle.
We could do a podcast about Steve. Like, there's so many things that I know Jeff doesn't want to bring up on the air.
He's the quiet weird.
It would
subtle
shoot
weird.
to the top of all podcasts. Talking about Krakenbrink. Just that's it. Everyone's like, what is this?
That works.
It's the Steve Krakenbrink podcast. Where we all talk like this because this is how it feels when you're in the room with Steve and he's all asking you about the pony play.
So how did you feel at your wedding reception when him and another man sandwiched you and started grinding on you in front of your whole family at your wedding reception?
That happened to Jen.
Yes.
All right, Seth, have a great day.
What the hell's going on here?
Oh.
Next week we'll have more opportunities for you to go to this great New Year's Eve party at Rava.
Thank God videos on phones.
Matt, what's going on at the pub this weekend?
The pub this week. Karaoke night on Saturday. We got karaoke night on Saturday and trivia on Sunday. Come sing some karaoke.
Karaoke, Jeremy.
Play Dr. Ricky's trivia on Sunday. Don't miss out. We'll be at the Brownsville Public House.
You want me to make an appearance?
Absolutely.
$500.
Oh, yeah, that's what you'd have to pay everybody to sit through him.
You have to bartend too as well.
Yeah, I'm a terrible karaoke singer.
He's not very good.
Really?
Come on, you got a signature song.
I thought you'd be amazing. Get some yacht rock going on there.
Well, you know what? Get sailing. Come on. Takes me away.
We should do that one.
Takes me away with a bouncer.
We should do that on video one night. Like dress up and be in disguise, and then go to karaoke bar and take ourselves super serious, like super serious karaoke guy does.
Oh, that'd be rad.
And sit there and really nail a song or try. Or
I want to be Bernie Higgins. I'm going to dress in that white tuxedo.
Yeah, do it.
And bring a fan. Set the fan right in front of you. Your hair's kind of blowing back.
And I'll have a cardboard. I'll have a cardboard cut out of a boat that I'll just be in the middle of. Anyway,
who's looking at you?
We've been here doing this for 4 hours. Let's let Seth have it.
Okay.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe to the podcast on Google, Apple, YouTube, and Podbean by clicking on Jeff and Jeremy at KZOZ.com.